BMW have been on quite a product offensive. They've been perfecting their range, not to be full electric, but to be hybrid. Plug-in hybrid actually. BMW believe that having a combustion engine under the bonnet is still the best way of moving the population around, especially when you combine it with a limited range set of batteries. Now they have a whole range of battery-powered hybrids. It's time we had a close look at one of their best-selling cars, the BMW 530e plug-in hybrid.
Well, you can never beat a bit of Irish weather, huh? I came up this morning from a lovely sunny Portlaoise, decided to film here in City West on the way up, and well, it's snowing here, which is very weird. But sure, anyway, it doesn't matter, it's not going to dampen my spirits, because this is the best BMW that BMW has ever produced. That's a strong statement. I know, I understand, I feel your sense of trepidation on that statement, but I think I'm right. I think this 530e is sublime. The suspension is perfect. The car feels right. It's got a petrol engine. It's really good, and there's a lot to be said. This probably won't be a popular thing, but there's a lot to be said for the fact that if you have a lot of PHEVs on the road, you're bringing down your CO2 all the time, even though they're not fully electric. And this one has a fairly decent sized battery and can charge itself. So it is actually a self-charging hybrid, weirdly, but it can also plug in. Anyway, let's have a look around the outside of this car and see what it's all about. Look at the side profile of this thing. Look at it. Look at that long swoop, that BMW really recognizable swoop to the whole thing. Absolutely phenomenal. The wheels fit beautifully into the wheel arches. All is well in my world with the look of this car. Also, this one can actually be charged. There's a charging port there, but I probably have to pull it from the inside. But the charging port's here on this side. The petrol tank is on the other side of the back, where it normally is. Look at the front. It's after locking itself because it locks itself when it goes away. Proper kidney grille in this one, not a big massive grille, nice and big open front on it, I love that. These have BMW laser lights on the front of this. It's going to blow a hurricane now in a couple of seconds, the next thing is going to happen. But anyway, front, nice and subtle, right? Looks really, really good. I think that looks really properly 5 Series. Now down along the edge here you get those M Sport alloys that are on this one as well. A couple of fins here along the edge. The M Sport alloys really do work on this. The P0s as well work too. Then you have those classic 2 doors on the side with the slightly tinted rear end. The painted brake pads on this one as well. When you come around the back, again, classic 5 Series, proper 530. All you really notice is the E at the end. Tip Beamer. I'd love you to make a 530D, a diesel electric. Whoa. Lads, that'd be good. Anyway, look in the boot for a minute, because one thing I want to draw your attention to, in that you lose a bit of boot space in the 530e, because under here is the batteries, all the bits you need in your charging cable. So you do lose a little bit of boot space. Not a huge amount, not massive. You can lock and lock the car from here as well. Not going to do that. It is an electric tailgate. Super exterior, super subtle, sleeper looking thing. It is a 2-litre petrol with a PHEV. Anyway, we'll go to the technical bit now, then we'll come back to the inside.
The BMW 530e is a plug-in hybrid with a 12 kilowatt-hour battery, powering a 94 brake horsepower electric motor and working in tandem with a 4-cylinder petrol engine. Yes, BMW are putting a 4-cylinder petrol engine in and calling it something 30. The new 530e features a denser battery pack than its outgoing model. Its energy capacity has expanded from 9.2 to 12 kilowatt hours with no increase in the physical size. As a result, the rear-wheel drive 530e now has an electric range of about 65 kilometres and a CO2 emission of about 41 grams per kilometre, a respective improvement of almost 20 kilometres and 5 grams per kilometre.
Okay, back to me. Thanks. It's kind of snowing in that door, so let's have a fast look at the interior of this thing. This has a piano black area here, but it's no fingerprinty one. I like that. And it has a nice squidgy dashboard. Everything's good. Good little glove box. Not massive, but good enough. Cup holders are here. My only complaint really with the interior will be that when the cup is in this holder and you use the wireless charging tray in the back, to get your phone out when you finish your journey, you have to remove the cups. They have to come out. It's only a small thing, Beamer, but moving the cup holder somewhere else would be more beneficial, I think. But there is a wireless charging tray back there. This has Android Auto and it has Apple CarPlay as standard. They're in both this car. Got a good little storage bin back here with a USB port in it, USB-C. Standard USB here in the front. So 2 USB ports up the front is okay by me. And then you have the best steering wheel in the business, BMW. Oh, you make the best steering beautifully. It looks very high at the moment. It's actually electric. It'll come down when I start the car, as you can see in a second. So when I start it up, it comes down. See where it should be. Electric seats here in the front, which the most comfortable. You can't even. It's invisible stuff that I'm moving the top half of the seat. See the top half, not the bottom half. I can move all. The adjustments of the seat are just, oh man, perfect, perfect. Spec the seats, lads. Don't even think about it. Don't even ask me again. Not saying, should I get the good seat? Just get the good seats, I promise you. Look at the dashboard. Dashboard is very good. You get a sat nav in the middle of it here. Fuel gauge on that side, electric gauge on that side. 19 kilometers range on my electric unit and 180 on my petrol unit. This has an ability to be able to click this little button here, which is battery control. That means your battery can be saved or charged while driving. So when you're driving along the road on a motorway or whatever and you're not really using the PHEV bit, it can charge it up from the petrol engine. And works incredibly well. Really, really good. Just use the spare capacity of the engine to recharge the battery. So when you reach your destination, be it a city or a big town or whatever, you can use electricity when you get there. Really, really clever. Absolutely nothing else I dislike about the front here. The iDrive system is actually fairly straightforward. He says it's getting better every time. You can still get into the complicated menus if you want to, but you don't have to. They're there if you want them. Manual air conditioning controls and manual buttons here for all of the mode stuff. Works a treat. Simple as that. It's just, I don't have any complaints with the front of this. I think it's just one of the best interiors on the market at the moment in BMW, and this car just lights my fire in every possible way. Let's have a look at the back seat though before we get too excited. So there's got to be something wrong, right? It's got to be something wrong. The information keeps on rolling on you, lads. That's what's going on right now. Okay, so back seat. That seat is set for me. As you can see, I fit my fist in here pretty handily. Oh, what a noise. Tinted windows in the rear, they're already partially tinted. I wouldn't tint them any further. They're actually quite dark, but it still feels relatively bright back here. LED lights above my head as well, which are quite pleasant to look at. I mean, look at the thing. It's just a pleasant looking design. That design is reflected up front as well. Good view up the front. So coming down here to the middle, you can see I got 2 USB-C ports down here as well. Good for the kids in the back, very important. And if I put my foot, this is, you've all come to like this position by the way, easily fit my hand in here on the roof, no problem. So there's tons of room. Being a 5 Series, of course, you can imagine it would be all plenty of room. The slope and roof line here hasn't made a blind bit of difference to the size. You do get an armrest in the centre with a double cup holder in it, and oh no, that's not a document tray. That used to be a document tray, no? Am I going mad there? It's just a really comfortable place. Yeah, you could fit a third person here in the middle. Would you want to? Nah. Just let them get their own car and be on with you. You know, poor people can walk, surely. Come on, let's go for a drive. Okay, driving a BMW in snow, take 1. That'll be alright. You see the way that steering wheel comes into position for me? I just love that bit. That's one of my favourite things this car does, is that steering wheel action. Now, stuff that's missing from the car, let's just go for a minute now, because this car, obviously, prices I'm going to put up on the screen. Obviously, for the kind of prices the BMW is charging, you imagine there's plenty of stuff in it. But actually, this is as ordinary cruise control, no active stuff, and no active lane keep or anything like that. Nothing really. Just does his own thing. I'm fully electric by now, by the way. I have 19 kilometers range, and it's just shuttling me along there in full electric mode. This can drive very quickly out, even out on the motorway in full electric. But obviously, as a PHEV, you're going to lose a lot of speed or a lot of range very quickly. The faster you want to go in it. So the better you can drive, the more efficiently you can drive, the more effective a PHEV becomes. And I think that's what people are missing out on, really. So to be really effective, you know, PHEVs need electricity. So you plug them in and you charge them up and you use them as you need them. And that's really what we're talking about here. That's what we need to be able to do all the time. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to drive around like a granny everywhere. No, because you have a 2-litre petrol under the bonnet here. And arguably, it's important that we make sure that we've got enough electricity to run the car, but also enough petrol to run the car to go with it, because that's where we win, lose or draw in this car. Now, I can save my electricity, so I can go battery control here and save the electricity that's in the battery and actually generate more from the petrol engine. So spare capacity of the petrol engine will be shunted into the battery, so I get more energy when I get to the other end of my journey. Now that's key. That's the key to this car. So this car doesn't just charge up on a PHEV level. This car charges up from itself. So if you were determined enough, you could drive in and out of work and never actually engage the petrol engine in the first place. Because the average journey of people in a day is 30 to 60 kilometres. We know this from European research. There's plenty of research suggests that we really don't drive all that far in a day anyway. So why then would you want to buy full electric? Because, well, your journey's longer, because you want to bridge that gap instantaneously. You want to go on with electric right now. So why then would you want to go full electric if these PHEVs are so good? Well, there's a good number of reasons behind electric. I'm a big fan of electric cars. Not everyone's ready to make that step, and it doesn't necessarily suit every single situation. Some people just like having a petrol engine or an internal combustion engine. The noise of it is good. They enjoy the experience. They want it. This bridges that gap just perfectly between the two. This PHEV feel where I'm on full electric now, I'm in traffic, I'm driving along here, I don't know where, City West or something I am right now, heading in kind of towards the Tala region. And, you know, in this kind of traffic situation, this PHEV makes perfect sense, because I'm not using any petrol. I'm just trundling along here at 48 kilometers an hour. My heads-up display is working perfectly. If I want to be electric, I could be, no problem. The vast majority of cars around me are diesel or petrol. I don't see any electric cars. I mean, there's a Micra behind me. It's going to be petrol anyway, probably. Focus and stuff in front of me. They're all diesel engines. So the argument continues to say, well, no, we should just go full electric. But what if in the interim we were to go PHEV, like this one is, and use this on a daily basis, whereas if it was charged up, you're fine. But back to the actual car for a minute. Sublime damping in this car. It is completely cushioning out the road the whole time. I don't really feel it at all. There's bags of power there. When you put your foot down, both engines combine to give you a little bit more power if you want it. You can go into full EV mode if you want to make the car just use its electric engine permanently. That's pretty good too. Is there a downside to this car? No. Other than the price, of course. The price of these cars aren't exactly cheap. You know, you're not exactly going to be in the normal territory, but you are in a BMW. You know, this isn't going to be an affordable car to begin with, but this is what I think BMW have created, one of the best cars they've ever made. That's what I mean. I really do mean. The feeling, the vibe. I would happily drive this for the day. Just drive around here in the snow, the foot of the Wicklow Mountains, drive around here, no problem at all in this lovely weather, because this is Ireland. That road's dry anyway. It's literally evaporating off before it even hits it. It's a weird weather. We've weird weather here. So does this do anything wrong? No. This is undoubtedly one of the finest and best handling BMWs, most balanced BMWs that have ever been out. Really, you think the BMW's losing the electric fight, but then you just make this car and it goes, why would you buy anything else? I would be happy in this or a 330e for the rest of my life. Does nothing wrong. Tons of room in the boot, plenty of room for the family. You can have the kids in here as well. You've got to stay the symbol of the BMW Motor Works. The entire badge thing going on as well. You feel like you're separated from the road in a nice way, but yet I can feel the surface of that road perfectly. It feels good underneath me. It's got enough kit and toys to keep me happy forever. And you know, if you want to, you can always claim your eco credentials, no problem, because you're driving a PHEV and it just works. And I know some of you won't be able to get the mileage out of it that I can get out of this, but that's just the way you're driving, if I'm honest with you. You need to adjust how you're driving. I'm able to get plenty of miles out of these things. They do seem to work for me at all times. Listen, thanks very much for joining. I hope you've checked out some of the links down below. There's little links down there so you can join in and be part of the gang, the cool crew that look after us on Patreon, PayPal and channel memberships and so on. If you want to join them, you can. You don't have to. The free way to subscribe to the channel is actually just subscribe. That's it. It doesn't cost you a penny to click the subscribe button. Click the little bell notification as well. It'll let you know whenever I go live, which I do every Sunday on the Sunday service. You can also join me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. There's multiple ways to get in touch with me. DMs, please, on Instagram if you don't mind. It's really easy to kind of manage them there. A little bit better to manage them there than it is on other platforms. Apart from Twitter. Obviously, Twitter has a good way of managing them too. But Instagram is an easy place to get back to people. Or you can just ask questions on TikTok and I'll get back to you there if I can. One way or the other, I'll get back to you. Sooner or later. Not always possible. It's kind of mad now at the moment to keep up. Inbox broken a lot. But it's fun. But thank you very much for watching. And until the next time, I will see you on the far side. Hope that person in the background is not in that shot now. That Corsa is cute. I like them old Corsas. The 09 Corsa is really nice. Feel that electric pull as you're going along. Yes, this is behind the scenes bit. I know so many of you hang out to this point of the video. You really do. It's very cool. You're like the sergeant majors of the back end of the video, which I quite like. So leave us a comment. Let me know you've seen this bit of it, which is nice. Because most of you do. In fairness to you, honest to God, some of you are so cool. You come along and you said everything at the end. Somewhere along the Bellegarde Road, coming in by Tala. This is Tala Cross Hotel and all is right here. So coming in by Tala. I didn't mean to come this way. It's just the way I'm going. That's it. Quite a good road though, isn't it? Like 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 2 lanes going this way, you know, and 2 lanes going that way. It's a really good road. Like it's nice. I'd hate to live there. I'd say it's very noisy, but it's a good road though. Of course, our Minister for Transport is not going to invest in any more roads. So he says 4 or 5 times now. Sure, roads didn't make this country at all. That's a cool bridge as well. Tally, you're very cool looking. I don't often be out this direction. Sometimes I use it as a sort of a rat run to get by. When there's a problem on the N7 up there in Newlands Cross direction, I'd sometimes come this way to go out to City West, but I haven't come this way in a good while now. It's actually quite pleasant along here. Then, you know, we're on lockdown. When will lockdown ever end, boys? We're moving along now for a long time. We're on lockdown, aren't we? Really. There was hopes there we're going to lift the lockdown in March, but sure, looks like Varadkar's now coming out going, oh no, numbers are rising. No, I'm not too sure about them all numbers. Oh no, can't be doing them numbers. It's funny, but it's true.